Hello, everyone. I am here recording from Quilt City, USA, and we are so excited to be bringing another episode of Quilting On Together with our Quilt Stars. Today, I am so excited to be talking with my brand new friend, Eleanor Burns. Hello, Eleanor.
Good morning, Liz. How are you?
Oh, I am
And
so
I'm in my home in Julian.
I'm so happy. It's so happy to be talking to you. And so you are up in the mountains, is that correct?
I am. I'm hiding out in my log, obviously. Here I am sitting in front of all my logs. Very secure. Can't even see a neighbor. All I have, Liz, to share my day is the blue jays, the hummingbirds, the bunnies. Oh, and there's 2 squirrels and a little chipmunk and 6 chickens.
Oh my
Too
goodness.
fun.
Wildlife, that is too fun. I bet it's very peaceful and nice out there. And you're away from the crowd, so that's good.
It is.
Well, so let me ask you, I know everybody's at home right now. Everybody's working on some new projects. Have you been working on anything while
Right.
you're there up in your home?
I I am. I have a great sewing room. I'm very fortunate to have 9 sewing machines set up for some little classes. And
Oh,
whenever I mess up one machine, I move to another one. So I'm having a great time. But I've been working on patterns with Merritt down at Quilt in a Day. And I have a new pattern that's called Magic Pinwheel. And I just worked on it. It's so much fun, and it is really magical. And it's just squares, half square triangles, and quarter square triangles. And I just love it. You know, the lattice is actually set right into the block. And so I want to show you the whole quilt laid out. I'm not quilted yet, but I'm going to have to send it out to my long arm quilter. You see, Liz, I quilt with my credit card. I feel a lot better about that.
I
So
think a
I'll
lot
send
of us
this
do
quilt
that.
out. I know. She's going to, by the time this is all over, she's going to have a lot of quilts. But I wanted to show you the pieces because they're just really funny. This is like one of the pinwheels and the second pinwheel and the lattice in between. Let me see if I can use my bulletin board and just kind of show you. So in the end, once you make all of your pieces, yeah, see, you're getting to see this now. Let me move it around a little bit down here, like up like this. There's the start of the pinwheel. And so it's so much fun. I really love to just sit and sew. It's just so relaxing and peaceful for me. So that was the one I've been doing, the magic pinwheel. And the next one I truly love. It's all just half square triangles, and I am nuts about cutting out half square triangle, my AQS cutter, and sewing them together. But my sister Patty came up with a way of setting them on point and then making diagonal rows of color. And so this is another one. And this one is called Wild Cherry Quilt, because there's a couple of cherries in it. So much fun. So
Oh,
I've been very, very busy.
staying very busy. Those are both so lovely, and I love the traditional look to them. And those fabrics are so nice, and they bring a lot of life to them. Thank
I'm
you
very
for showing us.
traditional.
And I think we need more of that sometimes, you
Yes.
know. I love seeing a little bit of everything, but my heart is, you know, with those quilts that I grew up with on my bed that my grandmother made. And it reminds you of snuggling up as a child, at least for me it does. So it's very comforting to me. I love seeing it. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And you
So
have,
I'm also working with Benertex
that's what I was going to ask.
on
You
a
have
new
your
line
next
of
line.
fabric. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry.
So one is called Rose Whisper. My mom had a great garden. Actually, I tried to plant some seeds and they didn't grow. But anyhow, this is just the paperwork from the next line, Rose Whisper, and it's beautiful, large scale, small scale. And then we always have to do a little stripe and some solids in it, but this is like the pink colorway. And we're doing just exactly the same with a beautiful green that will go in with it. These are really grandma looking, huh? And then I matched this one to my shirt. How's that one? Looks
It
pretty.
matches you
In the
perfectly.
turquoise, the roses.
Oh, I love
I planned it.
florals. It's beautiful. So, what can I ask you? What inspires you to make the quilts that you make and the designs that you make? Is it your history with those designs, or do you just see something new and want to try it?
You know, I collect antique quilts. And I like to collect all the old magazines, and the antique quilts are my inspiration. And oh gosh, I'm embarrassed to tell you, but we counted them one time. Brian sat and counted them, and he said, "Elle, you have 273 quilts, antique quilts." He
There's
said,
nothing
"And
wrong
one
with
of your closets is locked, and I don't know how many are in there." So I'm out of control. But it's always the antique quilts, the antique patterns. And my thing is to figure out a really easy, fast way of making an antique quilt. And once I do it, it's like I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to teach everybody how to make that look similar and really antique. And my fabrics that I pick, that I do with Benartex, reflect that. They're great to use in the antique quilts. So I'm just a traditional person,
I love.
but I do go lately. My staff has been saying, "Oh, Elle, you're going really bright." Been doing a little bright too.
Hey, it's good to experiment with new things and just try whatever you want out. And we are so glad that you are out there teaching people how to quilt and inspiring people to quilt. And those of you who are at home, I hope that, listening to Eleanor talk and seeing some of her quilts will inspire you to quilt at home during this very strange time. One thing we can all be doing is make a quilt. So you don't have to go to a public place to do it. You don't have to sit in a restaurant to make a quilt. So we're so happy to have this wonderful, wonderful hobby, this wonderful passion that we all share, that we can keep doing on together. And Eleanor, I also want to mention, a lot of you know that we had to move our beloved Paducah quilt show to September. And
Right,
so in September, I can let all of
right.
you know now, Eleanor is going to give us a talk, do an evening event with us. And I'm so excited. You and I have been chatting on the phone a little bit this week, getting everything set up, and I was just blown away by how kind you are and how down to earth and sweet and fun you are to talk to. So I can't wait to welcome you to Paducah again, and just get to talk to you in person.
Thank you. So, Liz, do you know my history? Do you know how long I've been doing this?
Well, I have a little bit of an idea, but why don't you
Mhm.
tell us?
Okay, 42 years.
42
42
years.
years is since I wrote my first book.
Oh my
42
goodness.
years. And the number of books I've done, it's close to 140 now. That's a
Ah,
lot of writing.
that's so much writing. I am so inspired by
That
that.
doesn't even count
So
all those little paper patterns too. When the economy changed, then I went down to smaller things, and that's probably up there 60 of them. It's amazing.
So, how did you get started in quilting? Can you tell us?
Well, I always say it was because we were hungry, because I had to feed my family. And it's just a story that just happened year after year. But I have two sons. I have Ryan, and before I had them, I actually did to teach professionally. I taught in the Pittsburgh school system, and my major was elementary. My minor was special education. And while I taught special education, I also wrote curriculum for special children to take a large task and break it into small steps. After a marriage of about 10 years to Bill Burns, 2 sons, um, he divorced us, and I had to support my family by myself, and we were hungry. So I knew, okay, I can teach, I can sew. I went to Parks and Rec and told them I wanted to teach sewing, and they said, well, this is 1976. This is the bicentennial. Can you teach quilting? Sure, I can teach quilting. Never made a thing in my life. And so I went home and made a pillow or two, took it to Parks and Rec, said, okay, you're hired. We'll put an ad in the paper for you, little story. Well, that story brought me 90 students overnight. And that is when I really had to start learning how to quilt. And Orion will just say, okay, Mom, you know, there wouldn't have been a quilt in a day if I wouldn't have been a crybaby. And it was him crying in his crib that made me hurry fast to get my lessons done. And so it just started. You don't even know what's going to happen to you, but you just take it year by year, and some years everything's going really good and others are not, and just had faith and kept on working. And here I am 42 years later. My son Orion is the manager of my company, Quilt in a Day. And in this epidemic, he is managing everything. And I'm just hiding out here in Julian, just enjoying myself.
That's great. You know, we want you to stay safe.
Yes, and I am
Stay out
still, and I am writing patterns still.
That's a wonderful story. And I will tell everyone we're recording right before Mother's Day. And so what a fitting tribute to the mothers out there. We know how hard you're working, and we know, like Eleanor, you'll do whatever it takes to take care of your family. And that's just such an inspiring story, you know, about creating this amazing quilting legacy just from taking care of your family. So what a beautiful thing. Thank you for telling us about that.
And both sons really support me.
That's wonderful.
My sewing room is on the 2nd floor of the garage, and he actually he wants a wheelchair ramp put into my sewing room just so I can sew the rest of my life. I think that's my goal.
That's great. You should keep
sewing. Funny?
Absolutely, no matter what. No, that's what we're
not that I need it now, though.
No,
let's get that straight.
No. Oh, it's such a delight to talk to you. And I want to ask you one more thing before I let you go, which is a lot of us are picking up new hobbies during this strange time. Is there anything that you're working on other than quilts and patterns right now?
Oh, yes. Well, okay. I'm a jammer. I love to jam. And I brought my strawberry jam just to show you. It's just so much fun. Right now, the strawberries are plentiful. I'm waiting for the blackberries to come in. And I am relentless. I have to pick every blackberry I can find, turn it into cobbler and jam too. So I really like doing cooking. We've been eating great, trying some new recipes, and I'm also working on one of my wool projects. I do like to hand stitch, just small things. Right now I'm working on a pineapple, and it says across the top, I think life is good. So I always have something going on. If I sit down to watch television, I have to keep my hands busy or I'll fall asleep.
Yes, I am the same way. And I have to tell you, strawberry jam is my absolute favorite. So if you have any left over when you come to Paducah in September, you let me know.
Well, I do have my grandchildren. They love they love bagels and cream cheese and strawberry jam. Yeah.
Oh, how wonderful.
So I'll try to remember this. That would be a good idea.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me and for being so kind and setting all this up in your home. It's just an absolute delight to talk to you, and I'm so happy for the relationship that AQS has with you. And I cannot wait to see your program here in September.
I can't wait either.
Uh, well, thank you again, and I hope that you enjoy a
You're
wonderful,
welcome.
beautiful day up in your home in the mountains, and you pick some blackberries for me, okay?
Okay, my pleasure.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.